We bought a rig just last week down in Tulsa, the leather seats, but we forgot the map was old. And now we're lost, ain't that so bold? The toilet's blocked, don't you frown, spilling waste all over town. The engine sputters, ain't she sweet? This RV life's one big treat. Say hello to hidden trees, say goodbye to towing fees, knocking pipes, leaky roof, under stars we're waterproof.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely.
Awesome. Today we're all about boondocking.
Boondocking. Great topic.
But with a twist.
Okay. A twist.
Boondocking with kids. We're diving into this article, Boondocking with Kids, how to make it fun and educational. Because you want to bring the kids along, right?
Yeah, make it a family affair.
But you also want to make it, well, not just fun, but a real learning experience too. I mean, ditch the classroom, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, who needs a classroom when you have the whole outdoors?
Right. The article calls it Embracing Nature as the Ultimate Classroom. I love that.
It is pretty awesome.
So what kind of stuff can we do, to actually make that happen?
Well, the article talks about using regional field guides to identify plants and animals.
Yeah.
Like a scavenger hunt.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a sneaky way to learn about biodiversity and stuff.
Totally. And don't forget those amazing night skies. When you're boondocking, no city lights, those stars, it's incredible.
Oh, absolutely. The stars are insane when you're boondocking. We were in the desert once and used that Star Walk app to find constellations and planets. It was like a mini astronomy lesson under the stars.
Wow. Talk about a classroom, right? But this article doesn't just focus on the academic stuff.
Right.
It talks about boondocking teaching essential life skills, the kind of stuff you just can't learn from a book.
Yeah, for sure. Things like building a fire. It's not just about, striking a match, but like fire safety and how important it is to be careful and then how to use it for cooking and staying warm.
Essential stuff.
Totally. We once misjudged how much firewood we needed.
Yeah.
And we ended up having to, get creative.
Oh, no, a s'mores emergency.
Pretty much. But it's a good lesson for the kids, be prepared.
Resourcefulness. That's a great life skill right there. The article also talks about water conservation and when you're boondocking.
Oh, yeah. You really realize how important it is. You have to make it last.
It's a real lesson in self-sufficiency. Now, here's something that might seem a little strange at first.
Okay, what's that?
Bringing technology into nature. You're out there to unplug, right?
Yeah, you'd think.
But the article actually suggests using technology to enhance the experience. I have to admit, I was a bit skeptical.
I get it. It seems counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm.
But tech can be a tool.
Okay, so how? What kind of tech are we talking about? They mentioned the Seek app. Is that really better than just looking around?
Oh, Seek's amazing. It's like a game. Kids earn badges for identifying plants and animals. It turns those hikes into a treasure hunt. And it's not just mindless. They're actually learning about biodiversity, even contributing to science with the data they collect.
So it's about using tech to connect with nature more deeply. They also had this interesting idea about documentary nights.
Oh, yeah. So picture this. You turn your RV into, a mobile cinema under the stars.
I love it.
You watch documentaries about wherever you are. Maybe it's about the history of a national park or the local wildlife. Then you discuss it as a family. It's a shared learning experience.
A supercharged movie night. Speaking of sharing, let's talk creativity. Boondocking gives kids this incredible opportunity to, express themselves.
It totally does. The article suggests nature journals.
I like that.
Yeah, where they draw, right? Even collect little natural items, if it's allowed where they are. It encourages them to really pay attention to what's around them, and it becomes this tangible record of their experience.
It's like their own personal field guide. I love that. They also mentioned eco art. What's that?
So you use natural materials, leaves, sticks, rocks, to create art. It's a great way to tap into creativity while reinforcing those leave no trace principles. They create something beautiful, then return the materials to nature.
I love that. And speaking of nature as a playground, boondocking is like one giant adventure waiting to happen.
Oh yeah, it's the ultimate playground.
So what kind of adventures can we have?
Well, the article mentions geocaching. It's like a high-tech treasure hunt, using GPS coordinates to find hidden caches. It's amazing how much problem-solving and teamwork goes into it.
A high-tech treasure hunt. Awesome. And if you want to unplug from the GPS for a bit, they suggest DIY treasure hunts around the campsite, like creating maps and clues.
Exactly. Gets them thinking strategically, working together, and moving around, exploring their surroundings.
So much better than sitting in front of a screen. And, of course, there's the classic nature obstacle course.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Who needs fancy equipment when you have trees to climb and logs to balance on? It's all about problem solving and creativity, and of course, getting some energy out.
It's the perfect mix of fun and fitness. But with all this adventure, we can't forget about our responsibility to the environment.
Absolutely.
The leave no trace principle is key. Can you remind us what that means, practically speaking?
Sure. Basically, it's about minimizing our impact. Packing out all our trash, staying on trails to avoid damaging plants, being careful with fire, respecting wildlife, leaving things as we found them.
So we can enjoy nature without leaving a trace behind. The article also talks about using binoculars for observing wildlife.
Oh, binoculars are essential. You can watch animals from a distance without disturbing them.
It's about appreciating nature without interfering. So we've talked nature, survival skills, tech, creativity, even responsibility to the environment. But boondocking can also be a chance to learn about history and culture.
You're right. It's easy to focus on the immediate beauty around you, but boondocking can connect you to the past of a place.
So what are some ways to do that?
Researching the history of where you're boondocking can bring it to life. Are there any nearby historical markers or sites you could visit? We once boondocked near some ancient Native American petroglyphs, and seeing those carvings firsthand really blew my kids' minds. It sparked all these questions about the people who lived there centuries ago.
Wow, talk about bringing history to life. The article also suggests that if you're boondocking near communities, you could participate in local events or visit museums.
Yeah, totally. It's a chance to immerse yourselves in the local culture. Attend a festival, check out a farmer's market, try some traditional foods. It turns your boondocking trip into a richer cultural exploration.
I love that. Okay, we've covered a lot. But let's be real, kids thrive on routine. How do we balance that with the freedom of boondocking?
It's a good question. And the article acknowledges that kids need some structure. It's not about being rigid, but about having a framework for the day. It's a balance.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, one suggestion is educational mornings, right?
Okay.
Take advantage of those peak focus times. You could do some nature journaling, work on an eco-art project, or explore an app. Then in the afternoon.
Adventure time.
Exactly. It balances focused learning with free exploration.
I like that. But what about the social aspect? I mean, boondocking can feel isolating for kids, especially if they're used to being around friends. How do you create that sense of community when you're off the grid?
That's a good point. And the article actually addresses that. One idea is to organize skill-sharing sessions with other boondockers, like a group of kids learning to build a fire together or sharing tips on identifying birds. It's like a pop-up wilderness classroom.
That's fantastic. It's about building connections even when you're off grid.
Exactly. And if you're feeling adventurous, you could organize collaborative hikes or exploration trips with other families.
So it's like a group effort, a team-building experience in the wilderness. I love that. Okay, let's paint a picture here. It's evening, the sun is setting, and everyone's gathered around a crackling campfire.
Campfire time.
Time for stories. The article talks about the power of storytelling in this setting.
It's such an age-old tradition, and for good reason. Storytelling is how we connect, pass down knowledge, create those lasting memories, encourage kids to share their stories from the day.
It helps them process their experiences.
Exactly. And then, dive into mythology and folklore. Tell stories about the constellations, the wildlife, the history of the land. It adds this whole other layer of meaning and wonder.
It's like connecting the present moment to something much bigger than ourselves. Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive.
It really has.
So many creative ways to turn boondocking into a truly enriching learning experience for kids, and honestly for adults too, right?
Definitely. We all benefit from spending time in nature and learning new things.
We've only just scratched the surface, though. The article, Boondocking with Kids, How to Make It Fun and Educational, goes into even more detail and offers tons of practical tips and ideas.
It's definitely worth checking out.
We'll include a link in the show notes. Before we move on to part 2, I want to leave you with this. What if we looked at boondocking not just as a trip, but as a chance to cultivate this mindset of continuous learning and exploration?
I love that. It's about bringing that sense of curiosity and adventure into our everyday lives, even when we're not out in the wilderness.
Exactly. So what's one small step you can take this week to bring a little bit of that boondocking spirit into your daily routine?
I think it's about being intentional about creating those moments of discovery and shared experiences.
We'll be back in a moment with part 2 of our deep dive into boondocking with kids.
One thing that really stood out to me in the article was how much it emphasized flexibility.
Yeah, being flexible with your plans when you're out there with kids is so important.
Right. It's not about turning your boondocking trip into like a strict homeschooling schedule.
Totally.
Huh?
I don't want to make it feel like school.
Yeah.
And suck all the fun out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about being open to those spontaneous learning moments that just pop up naturally when you're in nature.
Yeah, which happens all the time when you're out there.
All the time. And I think that's especially important with kids. They learn best when they're engaged and having fun.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off too. It's not about checking boxes or, meeting specific learning objectives.
Right. It's about fostering a love of discovery and encouraging that curious mindset.
Exactly. And the article gives some great examples of how to do that. Like, remember we were talking about using technology in the wild?
Yeah.
Well, imagine you're boondocking near a river and your kid catches a fish. You could use an app like FishBrain to identify the species, learn about its habitat, even see where other people have caught similar fish in the area.
Oh, that's cool. So you're turning a simple fishing trip into a biology lesson.
Exactly. And then you could build on that knowledge. You could talk about the food chain or the importance of clean water for fish or even the history of fishing in that area.
It's all about making those connections, sparking those aha moments.
Right. And it can happen anywhere. Like you're hiking and you come across a cool rock formation.
Right.
That could lead to a conversation about geology or erosion or how the Earth's crust was formed millions of years ago.
It's like the whole world becomes a classroom.
It really does. Okay. I'm totally on board with embracing these spontaneous learning moments, but let's get practical for a minute.
Okay.
How do you actually fit it all in? You still have to cook meals and manage all the logistics of boondocking. And, sometimes you just want to relax and enjoy the scenery.
Yeah, you're right. You don't want to overschedule your trip and make it feel too structured.
Right. It's supposed to be fun.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between structured learning and unstructured free time. And I think the article's idea of educational mornings and adventure afternoons is helpful.
I like that. So you're suggesting dedicating a couple of hours each morning to something more focused, like working on a nature journal or exploring an educational app.
Yeah, or even just doing a bit of research on the local area. Then in the afternoon, it's all about free play and exploration.
It's about finding that sweet spot between learning and play.
Right. And remember, learning doesn't have to be a formal sit-down lesson. It can be woven into everyday activities.
Like if you're cooking dinner over the campfire.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk about different cooking techniques or the science of how fire works, or even the history of the ingredients you're using.
Or if you're setting up camp, you could involve the kids in tasks that require problem solving and teamwork.
Like figuring out the best way to pitch the tent or organize your supplies.
It's about seeing those everyday tasks as opportunities for learning and skill building.
And it's about being present and engaged with your kids. Ask questions. Listen to their observations. Encourage them to share their thoughts and ideas.
Because sometimes the most valuable learning happens in those casual, everyday moments.
Totally. It's not about lecturing or force-feeding information.
It's about fostering a culture of curiosity.
Creating a space where kids feel comfortable asking questions and exploring their own interests.
And sometimes the best learning experiences happen when we as adults step back and let the kids lead the way.
Oh, I love that. Let them choose the trail you hike. Let them decide what they want to learn about. Be open to their suggestions.
So it's less about being the teacher and more about being a co-explorer, a fellow learner on this adventure.
I like that.
Now, we've talked a lot about the educational side of things, but let's not forget that a big part of boondocking with kids is just having fun.
Of course, boondocking is all about adventure and exploration. And the article we're looking at has some amazing ideas for making it even more fun.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Remember how we talked about those DIY treasure hunts? Well, you could take that concept and create a themed adventure day.
Ooh, a themed adventure day. I like that. Give me an example.
Okay, how about Pirate Day? The kids have to follow a treasure map, decipher clues written in pirate code, overcome obstacles, and ultimately find a hidden treasure chest filled with goodies.
That's amazing. Or you could do a survivor day where they learn basic survival skills, build a shelter, compete in challenges inspired by the show.
The possibilities are endless. It's all about using your imagination and creating those immersive experiences that kids will remember forever.
And in the midst of all those planned activities, don't forget to leave space for spontaneity.
Yes. Those unplanned moments, those moments of pure joy and connection are often the ones that become the most cherished memories.
Roasting marshmallows over the campfire, telling stories under the stars, sharing quiet moments of reflection. Those are the things that truly nourish the soul.
It's about slowing down, disconnecting from all the distractions, and appreciating the simple beauty of nature and the company of your loved ones.
It's about reawakening that sense of awe and wonder.
And sharing that with your kids.
Okay, I have to ask, what's your favorite thing about boondocking with kids?
That's a tough one. There are so many things I love about it.
Yeah.
But I think what really stands out for me is that sense of freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah, the freedom to explore off the beaten path, to learn at your own pace,
Yeah.
to disconnect from the pressures of everyday life and just be present in the moment.
I totally get that. It's a chance to break free from those routines and reconnect with what truly matters.
And it's an incredible gift to give our kids.
To instill in them that same love of adventure and wonder and appreciation for the natural world.
Exactly.
Okay, we've talked a lot about routine and planning. But let's be real, boondocking can be unpredictable. Things don't always go according to plan.
That's true. There are going to be bumps in the road.
Flat tires, unexpected weather, equipment malfunctions, it happens.
It definitely happens.
But how do you handle those moments with kids in a way that turns them into learning experiences rather than meltdowns?
Well, I think the key is to approach those unexpected challenges with a sense of humor, flexibility, and a problem-solving mindset.
So instead of getting frustrated, you try to model resilience and resourcefulness for your kids.
Exactly. See it as an opportunity to work together as a team to overcome the obstacle.
So if you get a flat tire, instead of panicking, you could turn it into a lesson on how to change a tire.
Yeah. It's a chance to teach kids a practical skill, to show them that you don't have to be an expert to figure things out.
And to demonstrate that with a little ingenuity, you can overcome most challenges.
Right.
And if the weather turns bad and you're stuck inside the RV, instead of complaining, you could turn it into a cozy game night.
Or read aloud from a favorite book.
Or tell stories and share jokes.
It's about being adaptable and making the most of every situation.
And often those unexpected detours end up being the most memorable parts of the trip.
They really do.
This whole conversation has really got me thinking about the bigger picture. It's not just about boondocking, it's about finding ways to bring that spirit of learning and adventure into our everyday lives.
Yeah, whether we're exploring a new part of our city, or trying a new recipe, or just taking a different route to work, there are so many opportunities to step outside our comfort zones and embrace new experiences.
It's about cultivating that sense of curiosity and wonder.
And remembering that learning is a lifelong journey.
Okay, before we move on to our final thoughts, I wanted to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the idea of community while boondocking. You said it doesn't have to be an isolating experience.
Right. It's easy to assume that boondocking means being completely off the grid and disconnected from others, but it doesn't have to be that way.
So how do you create that sense of community when you're out in the wilderness?
Well, sometimes something as simple as a potluck dinner can do the trick.
A pot.
Yeah, imagine you're boondocking near a group of other families. Everyone brings a dish to share. You gather around a picnic table or a campfire, and suddenly you're swapping stories, recipes, travel tips.
It's a great way to break the ice and get to know your fellow boondockers.
And those informal gatherings often lead to more shared activities. You could organize a group hike, or a stargazing session, or even a talent show.
It's about creating those opportunities for connection and shared experiences.
Reminding us that even in the wilderness, we're not alone.
And it's about fostering that sense of community and support, which can be so valuable when you're traveling with kids.
Especially when you're facing those unexpected challenges. Knowing you have a network of like-minded people who are there to help can make all the difference.
Okay, I have one final question before we wrap up this part of our deep dive. We've talked about all the amazing things about boondocking with kids, but let's be honest, it's not always easy.
There are definitely challenges.
So what advice would you give to parents who are considering boondocking with kids for the first time? What do they need to know to make it a successful and enjoyable experience?
I think the most important thing is to go into it with realistic expectations.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to be a perfectly curated, Instagram-worthy experience.
Right.
There will be bumps along the way, there will be moments of frustration and exhaustion, and yes, there may even be a few tears shed along the way.
So ditch that Pinterest perfect vision of boondocking bliss.
Exactly. Embrace the messiness. Those less-than-perfect moments are often the ones that make the best stories later on.
And remember, you don't have to go all in right away.
Start small.
Nice, mate.
Maybe try a weekend trip close to home to get a feel for things. Figure out what works for your family and build up your confidence from there.
Don't try to cram too much into one trip.
And most importantly, have fun.
Yes. Remember why you're doing this in the first place. It's about spending quality time together as a family, creating memories, exploring new places, and connecting with nature.
So go into it with an open heart, a sense of adventure, and a willingness to embrace the unexpected.
I love that advice. As we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a little challenge.
Okay, let me listen.
Think about one small step you can take this week to incorporate more learning and adventure into your family's life.
It doesn't have to be anything big or elaborate.
Maybe you try a new recipe together, or explore a park you've never been to before, or even just have a conversation about a topic you're all curious about.
It's about being intentional, about creating those moments of discovery and shared experience.
And reminding ourselves that learning can happen anywhere, anytime.
And that adventure is always waiting just around the corner.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into boondocking with kids.
We really have.
And you know what? It's clear that it's so much more than just a camping trip.
Yeah.
It's a chance to create this amazing learning adventure where, education and fun just go hand in hand.
I think what's really resonated with me throughout this whole conversation is the emphasis on intentionality.
Yeah.
It's not just about being out in nature. It's about actively engaging with it, being present, using those experiences as, like, springboards for learning and growth.
Exactly. It's about being mindful and curious, being open to those unexpected lessons that nature has to offer. And the article we've been talking about, Boondocking with Kids, How to Make It Fun and Educational, it just does such a great job of giving you practical ways to do just that.
It really is packed with ideas. It highlights how much learning can happen outside of those traditional settings.
Absolutely. We've talked about turning hikes into biodiversity treasure hunts,
Right?
using apps to identify constellations, cooking over a campfire to explore science and history,
Yeah.
and even turning those unexpected events into problem-solving opportunities. It's really about looking at the world with curiosity and finding those teachable moments.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, in everything. I love how boondocking forces you to slow down a bit. It makes you disconnect from all those distractions and just be present in the moment. And that presence, that attentiveness, I think, is where real learning and connection happens.
Absolutely. It's about slowing down, tuning in to your surroundings, savoring those simple joys like the warmth of the sun, the sound of birdsong, the crackle of a campfire. It creates space for those meaningful conversations and shared moments of wonder that can get lost in the everyday rush.
It's like reawakening that sense of awe and appreciation for the natural world. And that's something that benefits everyone, no matter how old you are. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay.
We've talked about all these fantastic ways to make boondocking with kids educational and fun, but ultimately, it's about creating an experience that's uniquely yours.
Right. It's about making it your own.
So as you plan your next boondocking adventure, I encourage you to think about what makes your family special. What are you passionate about? What sparks your kids' interests? What kind of memories do you want to create together?
I love that.
Let those answers guide you. Let them help you create your own unique boondocking adventure. An adventure full of learning, laughter, and heartfelt connection. And above all,
Have fun.
yes, enjoy the journey. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into boondocking with kids. We hope you found some inspiration and maybe some new ideas for your next family adventure. And remember, if you have any boondocking tips or stories, we'd love to hear them. Until next time, happy exploring.